Hello, guys. Welcome back to another studio session with me, Ed Lev. Today I'm in a different room, as you see, but I managed to organize here well. So it's a kind of a bedroom studio right now. It's just temporary for 2 weeks. Yeah, so for the past few weeks, I worked on a track, and the aim is to send it to Anjunadeep. For those of you who don't know, Anjunadeep is a record label by Above and Beyond, and my dream for many years is to sign my track over there and my music. So I just decided to go for it live, show you how I do the track, and of course it's all experimental, so I'm learning a lot from it, and also showing you how I do my process of creating my songs and my tracks. So it's really interesting, and I'm learning a lot. And I hopefully you will learn also from what we do here. And we started the mixing in the previous session. Fortunately, I had a technical problem. My charger got basically wet, so it stopped working. Didn't have enough battery, so it just shut down. So I had to buy a new charger next day, and yeah, so we are here. That's good. We started to mix the breakdown. So let's just dive into the to Ableton and just start working. Yeah, so the breakdown is this part. Yeah, so I just put originally there's no kick here. I just put the kick because the kick in the mixdown is the anchor. So I'm going I'm making all the decisions based on the volume of the kick, and right now I'm doing the volumes of the breakdown. So I think that it will be a good idea to see if the bass could be a bit louder. So I exaggerate with the volume. Yeah, so it might be better 3 dBs up. Let's check this out. I'm gonna do the opposite as well. I'm gonna turn the volume really down. Yeah, so it is good that it's a bit louder. Minus 22.5. So the average between these is minus 22. Nice. Let's put the vocal because it's the most important part here.
I'm looking for love. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for love. I'm looking for love.
Turning up the volume of the vocals as well. Yeah, it's nice that it's a bit louder, right? You can feel it more. And let's try the other way.
I'm looking for love. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for love. I'm looking for love. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for love.
Now it's 15, that sounds better. So the result is just 1 dB up. Nothing too serious, but you know, just to check. We have the back vocals here. I don't think it should be too loud, just like this. I think it's enough. Let's actually notice that it's louder. It's the volume of the vocoder of the vocal. It's pretty nice. All right. Let's try the atmosphere. We have the. Let's try the pads right now. Oh, maybe this is more important actually. The arpeggiator. Okay, so in the drop, and the reason that I do like the volumes separately from the drop and the breakdown is because sometimes instruments that work really well in the drop will not necessarily work with the same volume in the breakdown. So here we can notice the arpeggiator is a bit too loud inside the mix. It kind of overlaps on the vocal. Takes too much space, too much emphasize. It's emphasized too much in the mix, so the volume is super crucial. So what I do, I just use a utility, and I'll just lower the volume as much as I think. Yeah, also like -4 feels alright. Like, I would say -3 maybe. And now I'll automate it. I'll just call it breakdown. And I'll automate it. And I'll just turn it on when we have the breakdowns. So here we are entering the breakdown. And I'm gonna do the automation here. So the device on should be here and until here, until the drop. And same here. So I hope it will not feel too sudden because it's 3 dBs. But if it does, I can always use some automations and maybe just do it like -2 or something. So yeah. All right, so we have the pads here. Yeah, so it's also too loud, right? It's like maybe we need also the -2. -5. That's a lot. Like maybe I did something wrong here, but I don't know. Let's check it out and just check things. Maybe it's because I lowered the kick by 2 dBs. And now all my decisions are affected by this. but it's no problem because you always can just use automation, and if it sounds right, it sounds right. So you don't need to overcomplicate it. So I think I'm gonna just use the same volume automation here also on the pads. I'll just do -5 here. So I'm gonna delete this one. Yeah, it feels right. All right, we have the volume here. We have the volumes here. Sorry. Maybe I can also mute the kick now. Yeah, it feels right. Feels right. All right, now that we did this, this time it's time for some compression. So it's really powerful, the drums use a compressor, and the reason is when you glue the drums together, it just feels more like one piece, and the drums are super important inside the groove, like especially for electronic music, but also for other genres. So I think I really like the compressor, just Ableton, the glue compressor. It's great. I will not compress the kick. I think it's like compressing the kick is overrated because a compressor is its job is to like basically compress the sound, like lower the dynamic range. So if I use a compressor on the kick, I usually just make it smaller, and it might be more punchy but less like impressive. But it doesn't have the low frequencies that a kick should have. So also a compressor is usually not so precise as an audio file. I mean, we want the kick like super precise, like exactly the same in every beat. So I wouldn't use a compressor on the kick. Also, not with the bass, not with the drums. It can really ruin the sound. From my experience, it just doesn't work. So it's like the kick is sacred. I will only use some automations like you can call it like creative automations, not mixing automations on the kick. But I will not compress the kick. It's just I think it's just useless. Okay, so if I want the kick more punchy, I will not use a compressor. I will maybe use an EQ, or the best way to do it is just play with the envelope actually. Maybe I can use it like a MIDI, but I don't feel like the kick should be punchier. It feels punchy enough, and I might be also like trying a different kick that is more like deep and inside the track, but we will try it. Yeah, so back to the drums. Actually, I can also start with compressing the bass, but I always try to think, what is the reason? What is the reason I want to compress the bass? Is it too dynamic? Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't need to be compressed, you know? So, right, it feels like very precise from note to note. I don't hear a massive change, but if I just want to be sure, I can use a needle compression. It means that just the needle of the compressor just moves just a bit to make sure that nothing, you know, goes above a certain level. So I can use that. Also possible to put the ratio on 4 and just yeah, so I feel like it makes it actually thinner, like less powerful, the compressor. That's why you don't always need it. Just be aware of when you use it and when not, because it's not always necessary. Not always. Sometimes it can actually ruin the sound. Let's check it with the drums. So for the drums, again, I'm not using a compressor on the kick. Let's try. Let's put the ratio on 2, which means that the compression is less strong. It's more like soft and more round. And the reason it's more round is because the knee is becoming just a bit sharper with the higher values of ratio. Those of you who don't understand what is a ratio and you're just a normal listener, yeah, it's just the compressor has a lot of features in it. It's not too complicated once you understand, but a compressor basically is a very powerful tool to just glue things together in the mix, in the sound. So yeah, what I like to do with drums is using not a lot of release, because I don't want to keep the compression staying, and just lowers the volume of the drums along the way. And the attack I would put on 3 or 10. I don't use the 30 that often. It's in milliseconds, so it means that the compressor just waits for 10 milliseconds, which is a very small amount of time, but when you when you put it on music, it actually has a difference. So I'm gonna go really far. All right, so it sounds a bit less impressive, right? Because the volume is. So what a compressor does is just lowers the dynamic range by putting a limit, a higher like the high limit of the sound of the volume is just reaching a certain point and doesn't go over it. So now you need to use the makeup gain. I think the tambourine is a bit too loud. Let's compare with the previous mix. Yeah, the previous mix was a bit too deep, right? Like not a lot of high frequencies. This is more like breathing and alive. So here the difference, it's a huge difference between without a compressor and with a compressor on the drums. Without the compressor, it feels like a bit sleepy, right? It's like the groove is really good, the basic is really good, but it doesn't feel like that impressive like using with a compressor. So this is without, and this is with. Yeah, so it's a bit like not as sharp that like without the compressor, but feels like more glued together. Yeah, right? And there is like when you make the dynamic range smaller, you can actually feel like the quieter parts of the drums you feel more. So it's like putting like a compression. That's what it does. Yeah. What I can do with the bass is using a lot of attack, and then maybe it can be beneficial. I'm so sorry guys, you didn't hear what I do. Now you hear it. Yeah, I still need to get used to the OBS here with the live stream. So sorry you didn't hear what I do. Yeah, I'll fix it next time, sorry. Alright, we have the pads here. I don't think I need to compress them. Sounds good. I don't think we need too much compression here. The sound is already very good. Now we can move on to the saturation, but we can also work on the compression and the breakdown. Let's see. good. I really don't feel like compression is needed here. Maybe in the chords. It's also nice to have a bit of dynamic range, not to kill it too much. Let's try some saturation here. So, oh, maybe we can also EQ things also. Let's try to EQ the bass. And to be honest, when I need to EQ things, I love to use references, because it gives me a more precise image on the mix. So let's try to hear some references. Let's hear Tinley Curve, for example. See that Tinnicker has a bit less mid-range, more highs, it's more open and impressive. Let's hear this one. Oh, so sorry. It also needs to be mono. Just I think it can really be helpful to raise the high frequencies, because we lack here some high frequencies. The hi-hats maybe should be a bit louder. Let's take all the hi-hats, put them up like maybe 2 dBs. So as you can hear, like, actually the kick is a bit too, maybe too low. Maybe we should also give up this one, or maybe I can also change the kick. Let's see. Maybe it's good to have the high frequencies of the kick. Maybe it's better. Also the claps maybe should be a bit more, maybe I don't need to use all these ones. Maybe just less. Copy this one and be the reason that we have too too many low frequencies. It can also be problematic, and it can also fix the problem. Maybe too many middle frequencies also.
I feel like there's no when I'm next to you, 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 when I'm next to you.
Yeah, so it feels like the arpeggiator is really taking a lot of the mid-range. So maybe it's a good idea to lower this part a bit. Or maybe I can just open it. It's actually really full over there. It starts to sound better. As you can see, this mix is really muddy. Our mix is really muddy, so maybe it's a good idea also to lower the chords by just a bit. Maybe the pads are too loud. Actually, maybe the breakdown didn't lie to us, like saying that it's a bit too loud. Let's try. It's a bit of a challenge, I gotta say. It's just a matter of 2D pieces. This is definitely too loud. maybe it's a good idea to lower the volume here by a few dBs. I'm gonna delete this automation and just lower a few dBs here. That with every track the problem actually repeats itself. So I'm thinking maybe the problem is the root. Like maybe the hook needs to be changed. Actually, maybe it's not a good of a hook enough. Maybe a different melody here will work. And sometimes when we try to like work on the mix, and something just doesn't work, it actually like starts with the like the parts you write, the parts that like the melody, the bass, how do you write them in the MIDI, how do you play them actually. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is not like the mix. Maybe the problem is the idea. I don't say that we need to give up on this, but maybe it will be a good idea to experiment a bit with different melody, just to try things out. We had this one, but it feels like a bit of a different track, right? Like I don't know if it's the right melody, but anyway, if I think that if you don't come up with a better idea, it's better to just finish it and move on to the next one, because sometimes when you just try to change something that you already did and you are already like used to it, it just keeps you stuck. It's like then you never finish things. So even if it's not perfect, I think maybe we just like finish it till the end and move on. And that's a very good lesson here. Like doing the track all the way from the start to the end. That's the most important, like teaching. This is the best mentor. Like the best mentor is to finish things, like start to finish. It can teach you a lot about the process and about everything. So I'm just gonna try to lower the mids a bit. Like it's a bit a lot, but if it works, it works. Maybe the claps could be also a bit louder. let's just turn them like 1 or 2 dBs up. Happens, I try to like overcome the mix with like the mix itself, but it probably starts with the root. So it's like we reached a bit of a limit, like from how much we can take the mix to a higher level. I don't know if it's the exact limit. Maybe we can also like try to work on it more, but yeah, maybe just I can try also to add some noise to the arpeggiator, or to make it like more open, and yeah, maybe the drums I can make a bit louder. Let's try the tambourine just a bit up, maybe the top loop, make it a bit more open. Sounds much better now. Like, it sounds pretty close. It doesn't sound so far from the references. So we already have a pretty good mix here. Yeah, let's continue. I think we worked on the EQ, and this is the time to work on the saturation. So the saturation. Oh, well, we can also, by the way, do the EQ and the breakdown. Maybe it's just a problem that I experience a lot, is that the bass in the breakdown is a bit too heavy. Just in case, I will just lower the really low frequencies. much better, I gotta say. Sounds much better. Like compared to the previous mix, it sounds a lot more alive, a lot more like open and impressive. Yeah, but I also like lowered a bit the top loop because I felt like it's taking too much like tick 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 tick, and I still want to hear that. So I think it's also important to keep the vibe of the track without ruining the style and what you meant from the beginning. So it's like mixing with a vibe in mind, you know. It's very important. Yeah, so I think we took care of took really good care of the EQ today, and also the volumes of the breakdown. And I think for the next time we'll continue the saturation. Yeah, thanks so much for joining me this time also. And we'll see you next week, same time, 8 p.m. Netherlands time, Sundays. And don't forget to also watch my live DJ sets on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Netherlands time, CET time. Thanks so much. I'm Lev. See you next time. Cheers.